Hello everyone. In one of my last videos I was asked to show my toolbox first aid kit, and in the tradition of keeping me honest, I'm going to open it without remembering what's in it or using what's in it for quite a while. Basically I was taking care of my parents and they've all died. So that's what happens when you get old, but now I have my medical stuff that I haven't used. I check it, every time I make a video probably, but now I've got kids, so I probably should keep track of it. This bag here is, it's a pain to do one-handed, but it's my vital signs bag, and it's basically got my blood pressure cuff and my stethoscope in it. This is just a basic this home first aid kit. It's not anything Rambo would use, not uber tactical. But I think it's got what you need in it to take care of a family and maybe a little more. This is what I call my basic trauma pack. I kind of made it myself. It's basically just 4x4s and a gauze. And it's called my medium trauma, I guess. I have a large and a small. It's got maybe a dozen 4x4s in this trauma thing. And the reason I have it here with this is so that when I open it, I immediately open this, slap it on the wound, wrap it up. I've got my PPE gloves, and here I've got my cheat sheet in case I forget anything. Got my different tapes. That's what I call IV tape in my previous videos. That will stick to people on aspirin or Coumadin. If you've seen older people, not necessarily older anymore, but people who have had heart attacks, stuff like that, they'll be on those blood thinners. This will rip their skin right off. You want to use something like this. This is called Coban. You can get it eBay, Amazon, vet stores, almost everywhere now, but it only sticks to itself. My hands are dirty. I was out on the farm earlier. Of course, your wipes and that kind of stuff. This is an IV start pack. It's all the things you need to start an IV at the site. It doesn't have the tubing or anything like that. These are IV catheters. Of course, I have 18, 20, 22, all that good stuff. A glow stick. Let me just go back to the IV because I'm going to get the moron that says, don't use IVs unless you're trained and, they'll do more. Shut up. Don't care. I'm trained. This is for people who are trained. Don't use them if you're not. So, Safety Sally Troll, pound it out. One thing that's very useful is triangular bandages. They can be used to stop bleeding, but they're also good for stabilizing fractures and bleeding, stuff like that. A small Sharpie on very big incidents. I have written, now people got on me for this, but in a pinch you need to be able to write vital signs, conditions, levels of triage. I have written on people's foreheads. They were just fine. The Sharpie washes off, so stop freaking out. People who've never been there and done that. Of course, medications there. In here is more stuff. So what I wanted to show you here is 34x4s. That takes up a considerable amount of space, especially if you leave it in the box. So I took them, ripped them apart. No, they're not sterile anymore, but they're still clean. I've yet to find someone that's bleeding on scene that says, whoa, 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 is that sterile or is that clean? If it's not sterile, don't put it on my wound. Go ahead and let me bleed to death. Never seen a patient do that. So it's clean is just fine. Alright, then here's another medium trauma pack. Another medium. I'm hoping I'll get to. Sorry for the shakiness, but loyal viewers. It's high dollar production here. This is basically a bunch of steri-strips 4x4s and petroleum impregnated 4x4s for chest wounds, stuff like that. This is basically a bag that I'll go ahead and use to restock other things. It's kind of an extras. Of course, you want your PPE. This would be your droplet and stuff like that. It's not going to protect you against Ebola or the flu. Basically, what I use these for is if I go on scene with a patient who is exhibiting symptoms or is known to be sick with the flu or cough, whatever, I'm not going to wear this. I'm going to slap this on them. And, I tell the truth, I might wear one too. But it's not going to stop, serious stuff. It's going to stop droplets from being sneezed on me. Here we go, more PPE. That's an N95 mask. Again, same thing. More masks. Alright. Here we've got Curlex, what I call Curlex. I found that different people throughout the world and country call it different things. It's basically really wide, stretchy gauze. Very useful. This is a large trauma. So it has, I made this myself again. You can do it too. It's got tape 4x4s, 2 7x7s, and 1 5x9. Oh, it's a little bit larger. And don't think that the size is deceiving, okay, because it's been vacuum sealed. There's a lot of blood stopping material in here. These are my oral airways and nasal airways. Learn how to use them or the trolls will troll you. This is similar to an Israeli style bandage. You can see that's how you'd use it. These are pretty pricey, but again, most of this stuff, eBay, Amazon, pretty easy to find. Quick Clot, not a big fan. This is a cheapy bandage, kind of like the one I just showed you, the blood stopper one, but it's older. It's from the Army surplus store. And I'm just going to go down here and show you the rest. That is IV, and yes, it does expire in 2012. 3 years expired. You can use expired saline. In fact, the military does it all the time. As long as it's clear, there's no floaties, that kind of thing. It's salt water, okay? Take it easy. That is saline solution. It's for contact lenses. I use it right here in addition with the iodine to create a diluted iodine solution. For example, my son smashed his big toenail and it was a bloody mess, so I put some saline, put some iodine in to create a diluted iodine solution, and I soaked his foot in it to disinfect it, debride it, that kind of thing. It is sterile, even though it's for your eyes. And it doesn't say super tactical, it's not in camo packing, you know. Yeah, it's still sterile because it deals with going into your eyeballs, right? There is a thermometer. I hope you can sense the sarcasm because there's a lot, because all of us YouTubers are pretty sick of trolls, but maybe I should just ignore them. There's more stuff here, bandages. These all came from, if you've ever seen, if you guys have a job and you work, you might have a first aid kit in the kitchen, or if you work in manufacturing, you'll have the big first aid kit on the wall. These are from an industrial first aid kit that I broke apart and just took the stuff I liked. Here's more Coban, that's a large one. This is a SAM splint. It's for splinting things. In reality, I should have this unwrapped, unrolled, and flattened out to save space. I just haven't done it yet. There's my IV solution. It's only 500 milliliters. Well, it may or may not be enough to rehydrate. I don't know. Depends on the problem. I'm not going to give broad scopes here. There is what is that? A macro, micro. 10 drops. So this is technically for administration of blood, since it's a 10 drop. In the field we use 15 or 60. This will do just fine. Patient won't die. You just have to monitor them. Freak out, check the lung sounds. There is a petroleum dressing and 16 gauge. In my opinion, when I made this, I didn't have access to the right materials. For needle decompression, that is probably too short to get entirely through the chest muscle, and it should be bigger than a 16 gauge. By bigger, I mean a lower number, so it should be like a 14, and it should be longer. Band-aids, trauma dressing. These things are awesome. They're kind of pricey, but I had the chance, well, lots of times, but one call I distinctly remember when I was brand new. A lady had her throat slit by her husband, and it was pretty damn bloody. When I was brand new, brand new, like just 1999, and I was kind of freaked out. You know, it was my partner and I on scene, and my partner, he was in the Navy. I think he was a corpsman in the Navy, and he just jumped right in action, ripped that open, put it on, and I tell you, this thing was like a small pillow. It just absorbed all that blood, and you know, she ended up dying later from infection. She got stabbed in the stomach, and yada yada yada. Point is, these things work really well for bleeding, large amounts of bleeding. Of course, I wouldn't use this on someone that cut their finger off or something, but these are for, like the picture shows, big amounts of bleeding. Or right here, you could use this to pad a splint if you have a fracture. You don't want to just put them right on the splint. That can pad it. Lots of different things you can do. I know when you get into wilderness medicine, survival medicine. You follow the book, but you got to improvise. You know, there's other things you can do with some of these things if you understand the mechanisms and the physiology in the body, and you can go outside the book a little bit and learn from your experience and try different things, especially in survival or in times medicine. Stuff like that will come in handy. Anyway, I hope this helps, and I hope it wasn't too long or shaky, but if it was, what are you going to do? Thanks for watching.